Alright, how's it going, guys? Ozric here. This is some DLC gameplay from the new map pack Apocalypse, and this is the map Dig. I got a nuclear this game, but I consider this to be probably the worst of the 4 maps from Apocalypse. The reason being is it's pretty fast-paced, but it's an old World at War remake, and I don't think it's just designed to handle all of the Black Ops 2 BS, such as the tactical inserts. That's going to be a recurring theme in all of the map packs, tactical inserts, and sniper rifles. They become a real problem, especially in Domination and especially in Ground War. And if you guys play Ground War, you guys know what I'm talking about. I played on the map Frost, which is the new snow map, and it was literally nothing but 8 snipers tactically inserting right by the B flag. And as soon as you would kill them, they would respawn back in. I eventually put on an EMP grenade class, which is probably the best way to take out a lot of these snipers. But the problem is, as soon as you kill them, they respawn back over by the flag, and then they just throw down the tactical insert again. So you have to keep throwing the EMP, keep throwing the EMP, and you start getting consumed by doing that, and it takes away from your gun game. It takes away from your grenade game, and I don't know. I just don't like using EMPs for that reason. But anyways, let's talk about this map for a little bit. Dig is really fast-paced. As you can see, there's a lot of flank routes. There's the core of the map, which is usually where all of the action happens. But you gotta also watch out for the edges of the map, because that's where the spawn points are. And when people spawn on the edges, a lot of times they start doing the tactic that you see me doing right here, which is basically just keeping my back to the edge of the map. And I did that because I wasn't too sure of the spawns. I wasn't too sure of where I'm supposed to be. So when in doubt, always stick to the edges of the maps. That way you only have to watch one direction, maybe 2 directions if you're counting behind you as well. And the biggest thing about this map is you can use either assault rifles or SMGs, but you have to know your role and where you can be with each of them. If you're going to use an assault rifle, use it the way that I'm using it here. Stick to the edge of the map. Try to pick off spawns. If you're using SMGs, go for the flanks, go through the middle of the map, and try to get behind the enemies, attack them from the side, attack them by jumping over the walls. Right by the B flag on Domination, there's 2 jump ups. You can get on top of the B flag, and if someone's capturing, you can very easily throw a C4 down on top of him, or you could just jump down and shoot him. So if you're capturing B on Dig, it's going to be really hard if you don't use a trophy system. So I would advise smoke, I'd advise trophy systems, whatever you can use. Flag jacket, just to protect against C4s and explosives. Now smoke's really good. A lot of times when I was capturing B, I threw smoke down, and what ended up happening was like 4 or 5 enemies on Ground War, or if you're playing 6v6, it's probably more like 2 or 3 guys are going to run inside B and just stand there. And if you crouch down low enough in one of the corners, you can see them as they come through the smoke. It's pretty funny, and you just shoot them right in their back. So I'd also advise a suppressor if you're going to go the submachine gun route. Now, if you're going to try to do the strategy that I'm doing here, which is, you know, just creeping around the map, going for big kill streaks, kind of ignoring the objective, just trying to pick them off, spawn, you know, be a distraction, then I'd advise a really low recoil assault rifle. The AN-94 works, but I don't like it because of the fact that it's really hard to get people out of head glitches with this gun. You have to be really accurate. And what is this guy doing? You have to be really accurate, and sometimes, you know, you can't help but be not accurate with the AN-94. You have to spray sometimes. So what I would advise is I'd advise a silenced M8. I wouldn't do unsilenced because of all the flank routes. Somebody's going to spot you, somebody's going to come up behind you. So do a silenced M8, or I would advise using like an M27. M27 surprisingly works really good. Most people don't like that gun because of the low damage on it. It takes, what, 4 or 5 shots from distance. But if you can get really accurate with it, I believe my accuracy with the M8, excuse me, not the M8, my accuracy with the M27 is somewhere around 28%. If you can get really accurate, it's extremely deadly. It doesn't matter how many bullets it takes. If all your bullets hit, doesn't matter, right? So, with that being said, let's talk about some of the other DLC maps. Frost, the one that I mentioned earlier, is the snow map. That one's interesting. It can be kind of annoying because so many guys tactically insert. But what I've had the most success with is just throwing on a silenced SMG, preferably one with low recoil, such as the Vector, because of the long lines of sight. And I'll put on lightweight, extreme conditioning, dexterity, and I'll just sprint around the edges of the map because there's some pretty good flanks. Since all the action happens in the middle of the map on Frost, what you want to do is you just want to try to flank as much as possible. Right here I get sniped off the streak. You just want to flank as much as possible and just try to be a big annoyance so that your team can move up in Cat B. That's what I've had the most success with. Also, there's the other two maps. There's one called Pod. I don't really care for Pod too much. It's really campy, especially around the B flag, more so than Frost. And it's pretty difficult to get around the edges of the map because people post up with light machine guns and sniper rifles and make it really hard. The other is Takeoff, which is the Stadium remake. That one, that one's okay. It's not great. It's not bad. It's a pretty cool map. Is it as good as Stadium? And it doesn't play as good on Black Ops 2, but that's just my opinion. But anyways, thanks for watching the video, guys. Got a nuclear here on Dig. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, go ahead and drop me a like rating. And also leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the new DLC. I'm out. Peace.